Oh, hi!
Yeah. What's up, man?
Yeah! Hey, how you doing, Jess?
Good. Can you hear and see okay?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Cool.
can you hear me and see me?
Oh yeah, in Technicolor. Wow. In 3D. What? Wow. Awesome. Man, thank you so much for doing this. This is cool.
Yeah, totally, man. Yeah,
Where
this is
where are
wild.
you?
I am in my I rent this desk at like a shared workspace uh on in Southeast Portland that I'm currently at, and it's very echoey, so I hope that's not
Oh,
too
sounds good to me.
audibly harmful.
No, sounds good to me. Yeah, that's cool. I saw that's pretty recent that you're back in the studio, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, about I think it's been about a month and a half now, and
Okay.
I'm kind of finally all moved in and got my desk all set up and
Yeah.
very cozy.
Good for you.
Yeah,
Cool. Hey, we got people trickling in. This is awesome. This is good.
yeah.
Um, do you mind like just giving like a quick introduction to like who you are and what you do and something like that?
Yeah, totally, man.
Cool.
I'm Matthew Seeley, and I am a freelancer. I do animation, comics, general illustrative work, do some character design, storyboards, all manner of doodling and drawing that I can do that people will
Yeah.
pay me for.
That's cool. Yeah, I was wondering like have you always been a doodler? Did you always draw?
Oh yeah, always for sure.
Yeah.
Uh, I that was my first love, as soon as I could pick up a pencil, and I think I started like a lot of people, a lot of kids, just like trying to copy, cartoon characters and like
Yeah.
Doug and Sonic the Hedgehog and
Yeah.
all kinds of nerdy stuff.
Yeah. Um, that's cool. Yeah, you had like a nod to Doug in that music video you did, like
Yeah,
the animation. Yeah, that was great.
totally. Yeah, that was a really cool project that my buddy Mac Kerman, who he's I think an animation director for Titmouse up in Vancouver, Canada.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Okay.
and he got this bid for a music video for Jinx, who's like a big in like the drag world. They were on Drag Race, I think, quite a few seasons ago, and like
Okay.
she has this song on one of her albums called "Cartoons and Vodka," and it's just
Yeah.
about like watching cartoons and hanging out with your buddies. And so he wanted to do the video where it's like a bunch of different animators all getting like short 10, 15-second segments and then doing it in kind of a style of one of our favorite cartoons. So I chose Doug.
That's awesome. I'm gonna see. I have it pulled up on my computer, but I didn't realize today's the first that I'm using this like arm to hold my camera.
Yeah, I
The
saw your
phone.
uh, I saw your photo of that.
Yeah. I'm
Pretty
basically living
sweet
the
setup.
dream.
Yeah, man.
So let's see if I can pull up your animation reel here.
Yeah.
Uh, what the heck? Oh, this is your. Okay, I'm on your shop, not your website.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
on the old web store. Oh, what was that?
That was my computer's very upset today.
It sounds like it. That sounded aggressive.
You know what? Today, whew, I mean, you probably heard my little girl crying from the other room.
Yeah.
Uh, we've all been struggling today. It's been real, and my computer's feeling it too.
Just a slog all around.
I guess so. It's nice to be able to talk with you. I've got your site here. I'm gonna
Cool.
I'm gonna pull it up.
Yeah.
Okay. It's probably gonna be in reverse. I'm so sorry. This is terrible. A terrible presentation on my part. But I
Nah,
want I
man.
want people to at least get a taste. Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh, you got my computer screen reflected. Here we go.
Beautiful.
Okay. Oh, come on. There it is.
Up there. There we go.
Yeah, it is reversed. Sorry about that.
Now you get the idea. It's all gravy.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, there it goes. It's actually really cool seeing it in reverse because it's like, you ever do that when you're drawing? Like, just flip your drawings back and forth to like see it from a different perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild how like much of a difference that can make.
It's always like so much more distorted than I think.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, what's that eye doing over there? How did that arm get all the way over there?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun seeing all the. I haven't watched this in a while. It's fun seeing like all these clips from various projects all in one place.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, this is quite a collection.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of them.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Go for it. I'll ask in a sec.
Oh, I was just gonna say, a lot of them are pretty old. I think the oldest thing in there is the dude with the glasses, like dancing with a girl, and like those shots are from this project that I did for a company called Shadow Machine. They're an animation studio. We've got a couple of offices around the country, but it was actually it aired on an MTV show called Greatest Party Story Ever. And it was really cool. It was this really random like email that I got, like, hey, are you available to do a short for this thing? I was like, oh yeah. And it was like full production, like everything from character design to storyboards to rough animation to cleanup and compositing. Like it was like full shebang, just by my lonesome. And my partner at the time, Sandra, helped me with backgrounds, but besides that, it was just the two of us like cranking out this 3-minute short.
How did you like that versus like only tackling one aspect or one part of the process?
Yeah, it's, I mean, it depends. It's, completely myself and like have full creative control and like, make a lot of decisions. It's like, oh, awesome. But it's also like, oh, it's just so much work. Yeah. But, on the other hand, when I'm just like, doing rough animation or, penciling or something, just like a smaller part of a larger process, it's like, cool, I'm collaborating with people and it's not just me, but it's also like, ooh, I would have drawn this differently, or, and it was just less room for like, kind of, injecting yourself.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. That's actually a really good way of putting it.
Yeah.
Plus they usually pay you more, right? You got to do more stuff.
Yeah. Yes, that sweetens the pot a little bit.
So
how it's like those.
Oh, I keep interrupting. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's the nature.
It's like those what? Oh, I'm ignoring all these people that came to see you. Hello, everyone.
Oh, hello, everyone.
There we go. Hi.
Welcome to the Smart Smiley zone.
Yes. Welcome to my bedroom.
Yeah, it's very intimate. I like it a lot.
Well, I was thinking of bringing in a couple candles or something. Maybe next time.
Ooh, yeah.
Right.
Set the mood a little bit.
Yeah. You ready to talk about cartoons?
Are you ready to talk shop?
Exactly. Yes. Man, okay, so man, I have so many questions, but I think I'm going to start with the most important, if that's okay.
Yeah.
And I think everyone here who came to check you out is probably wondering the same thing. What is your file naming system? Like, let's just get right to it.
Yeah, you really go for the jugular, the hard-hitting questions.
That's what I do. Yeah.
It's not perfect. It's a very personal question.
I know it is. Yeah.
No, I mean, it's pretty like, it depends like on the project. Like if it's just something that I'm doing for myself, and like more of a self-contained thing where you don't have to share a lot of the files with other people for them to
Yeah.
like decode what is actually going on. I'll
Right.
just, get pretty fast and loose with it. But I feel like I do a lot of like, what do you call it? Like inner caps where,
Intercat.
instead of like, it's just like, little m, capital S,
Oh, okay.
little EELY, M Sealy, shot 7, just like keeping it all. I also
Yeah.
use underscores every once in a while
Uh-huh.
for dividing things up, but I don't
Okay.
know. I've learned to always, whenever I number things, always default to at least a 2-digit system. So if
Yeah.
it's like page 1, it's page 01,
Yeah.
because then when you sort it, it helps with that. But
Oh man. I learned that the hard way, and it sucks to have to go back and renumber and re-export and just the whole deal.
yeah,
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. It sucks.
Yeah,
So,
man.
are you able to share anything that like you're working on, or that you've been reading, or anything you're excited about?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I'm actually, I guess the main thing that I'm like really stoked about right now is, well, I'm going up to Vancouver, Canada, not this weekend, the weekend after this weekend for VANCAF. Have
Oh
you ever
yeah,
done
cool.
VANCAF?
I've never been, but it looks awesome.
It's super fun. This will be my third year doing it.
Cool.
And it's always a blast. A lot of great folks and just really good vibe of a show. But yeah, I've had kind of the same spread, inventory at my past couple of shows and with like
Hmm.
a new print or sticker here and there. But I really
Yeah.
like wanted to try to have like a new, something like a new zine or mini comic to like
Okay.
be excited about. And so I was like, okay, I got some time. So I decided to do like a short little 10-page mini comic um, that uh, I'm kind of forcing myself to not get too precious with, because I think
Okay.
that's something that I really struggle with is like, getting into something, whether it's an animation or a comic, and being like, this has to be exactly how I envisioned it in my mind, or
Right.
else it's not worth doing. And I struggle a lot with like procrastination and time management. And I think that feeds that beast a lot. It's just needing to like have it be perfect before I can do anything with it. So I'm just trying to like,
Yeah.
do this really simple story with these like two characters that I've actually used, kind of came up with for an animation that I made uh, back when I was like 18, 19, like over 10 years ago. I was like, oh yeah,
Mm.
I got these two brother characters that were really fun. I thought I'd just try bringing them back. But yeah, I can show you. Is there a way to flip?
I think if you,
Yeah,
yeah,
there
there
we
you go.
go.
Yeah.
Here's my little French fry magnet.
Oh,
Oh, I can show you, this is like my desk setup here at the studio.
I like that.
I've got my computer and then this like tablet stand. This is a new potted plant that I'm very
Nice.
excited about.
Very
But
tidy, Matthew.
thank you. I try
Yeah.
to I try to keep it nice and organized.
Good.
But yeah, so I got my pretty nasty glare there.
What
But yeah,
device
this
is that?
oh, so this is just a straight up iPad Pro.
Okay.
Um, I've got like a little keyboard case here that like,
Yeah.
flips around and stuff. But yeah, that's what I've been doing a lot of my comics work in, and I use Procreate, which is kind of the go-to uh, art app on iOS that I know a lot of people are super excited about.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've done all the thumbnails for this comic, and I'm kind of in the penciling stage right now. And I usually start with the characters. So these are these two brothers. Uh, this is Tom, and this is Andy.
Okay.
And yeah, they're just they have they love each other, and they're good bros, but they like to rib each other, you know,
Yeah.
kind of rag on each other a little bit, but
Okay.
they have kind of a fun dynamic.
This is
Um,
a 10 pager.
yeah, these are the 10 pages right here. You can't really,
Yeah.
yeah, there's just
There we go.
another
Oh,
It's the
that's
third
cool.
page. That's about as far as I am on pencils, and then I've just got more. Like this page of thumbs is super rough. Uh,
Hmm.
I like to usually do at least some kind of expressions, but this one was just like I just want to get the blocking done
Uh-huh.
for these shots or whatever. But
That's
yeah,
cool.
so this is kind of the project that I'm trying to finish in the next kind of 2 weeks before I head off to Canada.
Okay. Jeez. Well, good luck. I mean, I'm assuming you're ah! You freaked me out, man.
Sorry.
That was good. That was good. Yeah, so I'm assuming you're working on other projects as well, and you're, you know, wrapping up that comic.
Yeah. Yeah, well, this is all, that comic is all personal, just a personal project.
Yeah.
But I just today started a short stint doing some freelance at a animation studio here in Portland called Deep Sky.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, they're awesome. They're a bunch of real cool folks over there and pretty small. I think it's about maybe 20 to 25 uh, employees. But yeah, I've worked with them a handful of times in the past, and they've been a lot of the stuff actually from that reel is from projects I did with them.
Right on.
So yeah, I just started another thing with them this morning, and I think I'm going to be doing that through Wednesday or Thursday. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, just trying to like juggle client stuff and personal stuff and
Yeah, no, that's interesting to hear because like some freelancers, um, let's say illustrators and animators, they're very, very particular about I do one project at a time, but it seems
yeah,
like more often than not, it's like I've got 4 or 5 things that I'm at any given stage, at any given time,
totally.
and that's just
Spinning the
that's just how it
plates,
is. Yeah, yeah,
definitely. Yeah, and that's something that I've, is doesn't necessarily come super naturally to me. I am,
yeah.
I have ADHD, and for the most part, it's very manageable, but
Okay,
and I'm not like super hyperactive or whatever. Like the way that manifests for me is uh, just focusing on one thing.
yeah,
Um, and, both ends of the spectrum, either it's like, if it's not something I'm immediately engaged with and it's like takes a lot of work, it's like, oh, this is so hard to just focus and get this done. And on the other hand, it's like, oh, I'm like super into this one thing and I'm, you know, getting into the woods on it and I forget all these other things that I have to do.
right,
So that's been
yeah,
something I've been trying to kind of like work on for the past couple of years in my professional practice is like uh, multitasking and managing my time and
mm,
freelance life like being your own boss. It's hard.
yeah, right. How long have you been freelancing? Can I ask?
Yeah, I think probably about roughly 4-ish years at this point.
Okay, yeah.
Uh, I graduated from PNCA, which is a local art school, about 6 or 7 years ago, and then I did my thesis, and it was like this big, huge thing and very taxing, and then kind of immediately afterwards, I was just super burnt out and like really just kind of overwhelmed and
Mm,
didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I kind of just like took a break and got a job at a coffee shop and just tried to save some money for a couple of years
yeah.
and then at some point made the decision like, okay, I think I kind of know what I want to do. Let's give this freelance thing a shot.
Wow. Wow. Okay. That's cool, man. I mean, that's
Yeah,
it's not for everyone freelancing, right? I mean,
totally.
plus
Totally. I
plus like
wonder if it's for me sometimes.
yeah, well, I mean like you're saying there's so much like it's all on you. If you don't answer the phone, if you don't return an email, if you don't meet the deadline, like it's all you. There's no one
It's
else
all
to
you.
say like but No, it's you.
Right. Exactly. It's a lot of pressure.
A lot of pressure. Do you ever get have you ever had a time where you have like I don't know, like 3 different animation projects at the same time, or 3 different like coloring? It's all the same thing. Have you ever hit that?
I have. I actually, speaking of my thesis,
Okay.
that was actually my first. It was a very difficult time,
Yeah.
and I kind of there were a lot of other things going on, but as far as like work and like school, like I was doing my thesis, and then my friend asked me to do an animated music video for his band at the same
Oh,
time, and I was super excited about that. So I was like, "Oh yeah, I can do both, no problem. Like super easy. I am 22 and I am invincible,
yeah.
and I have
Right.
unlimited energy and strength." And long story short, it didn't end up working out, and both projects ultimately suffered, and it was a real like learning experience of
Oh,
um, how not to multitask, and like how to be able to gauge, what my actual, you know, not abilities, but like what my limit is, and not like try to kill myself
yeah.
just to like, you know, bite off more than I can chew.
Yeah. Oh man. I so you'll appreciate this. My wife and I, we have 3 kids. At the time she was pregnant with our third,
Yeah.
and we were we had just sold our house, and I was offered this freelance job, which is the I don't know, it's one of the like bigger, like higher paying jobs, higher profile, just like a big scope
Yeah.
project.
A
And
juicy,
yeah, yeah,
right.
like one that you really hope will come at some point, but you have no anyway.
Right.
And so like there were all these big life events happening at the same time. This project was was really about a 2-month project,
Yeah.
um, and I had 3 weeks to complete it, uh,
Ooh.
which is also kind of par for the course, I think.
Yeah,
Like
right. It's
that's just
not
how it is.
uncommon. Totally.
Yeah, but it was. I was like, okay, yeah, I'll give it. Yeah, okay, here goes nothing, and I made it work. But what ended up happening was it was part of 9 consecutive weeks where I
Mm.
worked no less than 80 hours a week. And
Dude.
oh, I forgot to mention, at the same time, I had a leadership position in my church, and so
Yeah,
like I was serving, every week, and then my family, and getting them to move, and my wife's pregnant, and working on this
right.
job. And I mean, that's like the worst it ever got, but I feel you, man. Like it's real.
Totally, totally. I mean, that sounds like the perfect storm of life and work and all kinds of responsibilities like all come into a head,
And I
and
asked
like
for it. You know, that's the kicker. I was like, yeah,
right.
I can do that. Sure.
Oh yeah, no problem.
What a dork, man. You play the
No,
drums. You're a
I
drummer.
do. Guilty.
You're a good drummer. I've seen some of your videos. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, it's fun. I play in a band with my brother, older brother. He's 4 years older than me, and uh, we actually live together, me and him and his wife. So that's pretty cool, and we get to just like jam whenever, and
Yeah.
uh, yeah, it's fun. I've always loved playing music. I was in like bands in high school and stuff,
Mm.
and choir in middle school, and I've
Oh,
always loved doing music, and like it's something that is that I enjoy, that isn't my profession, but is still like creative and like gives me fulfillment.
yeah. Yeah. No, that's really cool. And I was commenting on your story the other day, for your brother's band that he plays drum.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, that's a cool sound. Do you get out to shows much? Do you check out other people's concerts? And Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I've made kind of a conscious effort in like the past year to get out to more shows and like see more especially like my friends' bands play
Mm,
live because like I have a lot of friends who are in bands and play music here in Portland, and Portland is such a, you know, that's like a huge part of our identity as I think a city is like it's music everywhere you look. And you know,
right.
I feel like I've lived here for about little over 10 years, and I feel like in the past like 4 or 5 years, I kind of like fell out of habit of like going to see music live and you know
Yeah.
getting out of friends' bands shows and stuff, and it just kind of dawned on me like last year, like man, I used to really enjoy like seeing my buddies play and
Yeah.
seeing this great music that's just like all around, and so I felt like you know what, I'm gonna like take advantage of this and try to support you know the scene. And so, yeah, I definitely, to answer your question, I feel like I've been seeing a lot more shows lately and just and kind of making, uh, you know, a lot just like you watch Netflix or you know, read a book or whatever. Like I want to make ingesting music like more a regular part of my life.
That's cool. Yeah. I mean, I always find going to shows and it's specifically like music concerts,
Yeah.
just the fact that that music is alive right now, you know.
Yeah,
I can't hit
totally.
pause on the thing if someone shouts or they throw something, like it's gonna hit someone in that moment, like it's alive. and
Yeah,
uh and I love that.
totally.
Like I could almost go to any show regardless of whether I'm like into the music already, know anything about like uh
Right.
yeah, there's something like really life affirming about that.
Totally. Because it's happening right in front of you. And
Yeah.
yeah, performance is amazing like that. Do you play any kind of music or instruments or anything?
Um, I I used to play guitar a lot. Like I was in a band. I would write songs and play guitar. Um,
Cool.
and just recently, because I'm stuck in bed, I
Yeah, right.
I've I've been pulling it out, and you know, I'm more of like a balladeer. You know, I write
Yeah,
these ballads, and that's just what happens. But
totally.
yes, songwriting is really fun, and coming up with progressions that uh, I don't know, create this scaffold. It's cool because it's almost like you're writing in like an incantation, like you're writing a spell. And
Yeah,
if you
I
perform
like
it
that.
properly, it like conjures this emotion or memory or feeling,
Yeah,
and it's there's nothing like it.
totally, man. Yeah, I agree completely. I love that metaphor. You're conjuring an emotion with this spell. That's totally
Yeah,
true.
yeah. I mean, that's hey, what do you think of the new Sonic trailer?
Ooh, boy.
Oh yeah,
I have feelings. I definitely have feelings.
I thought you
Uh,
might.
you know, it's funny. I don't, I totally like, you know, going into it, I wanted to accept it for what it was, where
Mm,
it's a huge Hollywood movie produced and like as a selling point by the people who made Fast and the Furious. So it's like,
oh, I didn't
okay,
know that. Okay.
yeah, that's like on all the like posters and like, brought to you by the people who made Fast and the Furious.
I missed it.
Uh,
Okay. All right.
yeah. Uh, But so, you know, I was like, this is gonna be what it's gonna be, and then the trailer dropped, and it's like, okay, this is kind of horrifying, but also like could be kind of fun. But
Yeah.
then there's like all of the stuff with like Sonic's design, and have you actually heard? Did you hear the follow-up that the director of the movie, in response to like all of the backlash from fans and all the criticism, he made a tweet like 2 or 3 days ago that was like, "Oh, we hear you loud and clear. We're gonna go back and like redo all of this. Like,
Yes.
that's insane."
It's nuts.
Yeah. Oh, hi,
Uh,
Chloe. Yeah.
Oh,
There's my
nice.
buddy Chloe in there saying
Oh,
hi.
good. Yeah, I was talking to someone the other day about it, and they're like, "Well, it's obviously they're trying to pull from like '90s nostalgia and like,
Right.
um, and then like it hit me because at first I was like, I love Jim Carrey, right? Love
Yeah.
Jim Carrey,
Who doesn't?
love the guy, but I was like,
Totally.
why Oh, '90s nostalgia. Okay, that makes sense. That
Right.
makes
And
sense.
he's doing like peak 90s Jim mugging at the camera and like,
Yep.
like it is very like 90s Jim Carrey.
Yeah,
That
it's
makes
like he's
sense.
playing '90s Jim Carrey almost. I don't know.
Right. Right.
But that was just a good reminder to me that, oh yeah, like big business executives make movies. So it's, you line up the product placements and the music. It's all part of that
Right.
spell they're trying to conjure.
Right.
I get it. It's just a different approach than maybe like one person like you or I might use in tackling a story, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, it's not the Sonic movie I would have made, but
Sure. Yeah. So when does your Sonic movie drop? That was my next question.
we're shooting for 2024. We're
Oh,
gonna give it
nice.
some time.
Yeah.
We are in pre-production, as in I am still figuring out how I'm going to make it, but it's definitely happening.
I'm so
Um,
excited.
yeah, and I actually I'm glad you brought that up because you are going to be the voice of Sonic, and I'm really
Oh,
excited about that. I'm really excited about this get.
yeah.
Uh, and yeah, I
All right.
hope you like chili dogs because
Yeah.
that's going to be a big part of the narrative.
Yeah. Well, I've actually been. I mean, I'm a little embarrassed. I didn't know you were going to reveal this was like our big announcement, but
Well, I
yes,
figured,
yeah, I'm going to be
it's in the
playing the.
zeitgeist.
Yeah, but I've been eating a lot of chili dogs in preparation for the role.
Good, good.
Um,
I can tell.
yeah, yeah. Well, thank you.
Yeah, no, it's a compliment.
I wanted to
You got
show
a
off
chili dog glow.
chili dog glow. Look at this. What am I even running from?
See, those are my character design concept for the movie.
Yeah, these are
There he is.
they're wonderful.
There he is. That little
The,
that little
the
stinker.
tiniest Sonic. I think there's one more. Oh yeah. Don't don't talk to me until I've had my chili dog.
That one I feel like I'd want to make a sticker of or something, or look good on a mug or something.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I can see
Yeah.
that. Um,
Speaking of the redesign stuff though,
yeah,
like on a serious note, like on one hand, it's pretty cool that they're acknowledging the
for sure.
fans' reaction and they're like trying to, make good or whatever. But I I I immediately thought this, and I know a lot of other people have too, and because I've seen like people talking on Twitter about it, but like, what does that mean for the actual artists who are going to have to fix this movie? And it's like it's coming out in like 6 months or something. Like,
It's
uh,
November. Yeah.
yeah, like I don't know. It's a pretty scary. Uh, I'm glad I'm not, the one who has to remodel every single frame
Oh
of that
gosh,
movie.
are you kidding me,
And
man?
hopefully, they get compensated fairly and,
Yeah.
get paid overtime. But I know that's a huge thing, and like the video game industry is like unreasonable, expectations for crunching and, you
Yep.
know, crazy overtime. And
Yeah.
I don't know. Hopefully nobody, everybody gets what they need.
No, but that is a novel concept though. Like listening to your viewers and making adjustments. Like what what would stories be if now it's different because they're a whole company, but if
Right.
it were, people like you and I who are just, like one person or maybe a very small team, and people say, "Oh, I wish they would have done this different," or "It would have been cool if this," and so we go back and we George Lucas these ideas, um,
Yeah, totally.
like I don't know if I'm a fan of that, honestly. Like
Well, it's
if
funny.
you're
It
if you're
feels
not
like
into
a
it, like, Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like such such a product of like the age that we're living in, where like, you know, because like 10, even just 10 years ago, like a movie comes out, or like, they're making a movie and it comes out and it is what it is, and
Yeah.
uh you don't have that engagement with your potential audience as a creator, whether you're, a single creator, like,
Right.
auteur, or whether you're a big studio, spending millions of dollars on a huge project. Like
Yeah.
the fact that we have Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, and everybody can react instantly, and like the artist or creator can like see that, before the thing even comes out. Like that's so novel and like wild,
Yeah.
and kind of, yeah, I don't know if I like it either. Like part of me like wants to see the
Sure.
crappy version of
Yo,
like
yeah.
of the Sonic movie, and wants it
Right.
to exist.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
That's
It's wild.
interesting. Um, I was gonna ask, let's see. Oh yeah, do you use a sketchbook at all?
You know, my iPad is kind of my sketchbook at this point.
Uh-huh.
Like, I do have a little, like, floppy Moleskine in my
Uh-huh.
bag at all times that I pull out every once in a while and will doodle in. But, uh, yeah, like, I basically do everything digitally, these days, whether it's client work or personal work. It's just kind of like what I'm more comfortable doing. Uh, but yeah, a certain part of me like wishes that I did more analog, work
Okay.
and experimentation, and like I kept a sketchbook.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. I use the term sketchbook to be whatever you use for process that you also keep a record of that process,
Yeah.
or work through ideas.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of like mainly what my sketchbook is. Like I actually I could show you like an old sketchbook
Mm.
uh from back when I was in college, which is
Oh,
kind
that'd
of,
be rad.
it has a lot of that kind of a lot of that process in it. You can see this all right.
Oh yeah.
This is like a moleskin that I had like this vellum thing that I like cut out, and like it's you can see it's literally falling apart now, but
Wow.
like yeah, this
Dude.
was like some old schoolwork and like designs and thumbnails and ideas for different like illustration assignments when I
Wow.
was in school. And then yeah, this is like a bunch of like viz dev kind of stuff for
Oh,
this. What actually turned into my thesis project, which was a pitch for this animated series idea based on this character Margaret, who's like this
okay.
uh, kind of woodswoman uh, warrior who lives in
Oh,
like this like dying planet. Uh, but yeah, like this is like, I wish, I used to work a lot like this, where I just like, I'd be scribbling notes in the margins and doodles and
uh,
incorporating stuff. And I would like to get back to this, because now everything is very just like structured and like, organized in a way that doesn't really like, let my brain flow the same way.
yeah.
There's a little self-portrait.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
I was going through some stuff, Jess. Just trying to figure it out.
Well, that's good. That's good because is that Steve Urkel?
Did I
Yeah.
do that?
Oh man, these are cool. Like, I love that these. You can totally tell these are Matthew Seeley drawings, even though like some of them are kind of push in a different direction.
Yeah, totally.
These are great.
Yeah, it's fun.
What
Like I haven't
what
looked
happened
through this in a while.
with your pitch? Did that go anywhere outside of the
Uh,
thesis?
Not really. I kind of like I said, like I finished school and was just kind of really exhausted and kind of
Yeah.
burnt out, and kind of, I finished my thesis, but it was a very difficult kind of process for me. Like I learned
Mm.
a lot and did a lot of things wrong, and uh have a lot of regrets. But I got through it, and it helped make me who I am. So yeah, I kind of like finished that thesis, and then I was like, okay, I just need to like step away from this for a
Yeah.
while, and it's an idea that I still am proud of and like uh, and could see revisiting in the future. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I like the I don't know, the visuals. I love seeing like just that hand, and like some of those
mm,
creatures,
yeah.
um, and like just the tone of that project, just from your visuals. I don't know.
Thanks, man.
Looks like a cool project. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely like I'd like to return to it
Yeah.
maybe someday.
Yeah. Okay.
I thought about doing like taking advantage of like Kickstarter or like have you ever done like Kickstarter or Patreon or any of that crowdfunding
I haven't done
jazz?
Patreon, but I've done some Kickstarters. Yeah.
Yeah.
You should do it.
It's scary though.
It's, yeah, it's scary, but like, I mean, so is everything else you're doing. You're making stuff that no one asked you to make, and you're putting it out there.
That's true.
And, I mean, it's the same thing. You're just making maybe a little bit more noise about it.
Yeah, right. Right.
Um, but, and especially like you as a freelancer, like, for a Kickstarter, you got to have something to draw attention every day, and you've got to be involved with, people who are participating.
Yeah,
But where you're a freelancer, you're already kind of used to that, making that part of your daily activity. I think you
right.
should do it, man.
I've been toying with it. Like I don't know. It intrigues me, and
Yeah.
especially like, I'd like to do animation is fun. I love it. It's very time consuming, and
Yeah.
it's a lot of work. And so like, even just like doing a little 10-page mini comic is like, hard enough in itself. Just
Yeah.
doing that for my, on my own, for my own satisfaction, without any financial, you know, support coming from it. But like, yeah, the idea of like trying to do a short film or something just on my own, like, because I used to do that when I was in, like I made my first, like I started dabbling in animation when I was in high school and like
Okay.
I don't know if you ever visited or knew of the site Newgrounds back in the day.
Maybe not.
It was it was when Flash was really big,
Okay.
and it was like a lot of Flash cartoons and games, and a lot of it was like really, like 13-year-old boy humor and like kind of
Nice.
and not safe for work kind of stuff. It's like kind of
Right.
cringy to think about now, but yeah, like I started doing animation in high school, and like I was just a kid, I just had to go to school and then come home, and I would work on, and I'd made like a bunch of like short, 3-minute films,
Wow.
and then it's like, why can't I still do that? Oh, it's because my parents don't, you know, pay for everything anymore. I have to do other work to get
Other
by.
work,
But
yeah.
yeah.
No, I get that. My thing in high school, I did claymations, stop
Oh
motion,
yeah.
right?
Heck
Do you
yeah.
remember? Did you ever see on MTV there was Celebrity Deathmatch?
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah. So
That was huge.
I did Celebrity Deathmatch, but with the high school mascots in our area. And so we were the Orem Tigers, and we would fight, the Mountain View Bruins, and there'd be a whole battle. And
Yeah.
so they'd show it like on the morning announcements.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was good times, yeah.
That's super cool. God, there's
Yeah.
nothing more satisfying like as a kid in high school, like doing something like making an animation or like doing a comic and like getting it in the school paper or something, and like,
Right.
oh, all my friends and fellow students get to see this,
I'm
goofy thing that I
published.
made. I'm published, exactly.
Yeah.
I was on the TV
That's
in
right.
the classroom, but it's
Uh-huh.
still TV.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man. Matthew, is there, I apologize. I went a little bit over our time. I got
Oh, no
carried away.
worries. Yeah.
But I appreciate your time. Is there something expensive we can buy from you? Is there a website you want to point us to? How can we get involved?
Yeah, totally. My website is matthewseely.com, all one word, Seely. And on there, there's a link to my shop. And I did a comic, a graphic novel for Oni Press last year that came out called Dead Weight, Murder at Camp Bloom. Yeah, those pages from it right there. And yeah, that was super fun, and that is for sale on my website. I'd recommend checking it out. It's written by my good buddies Terry Bloth and Molly Muldoon, and it's good summer reading too. It's like it takes place at a summer weight loss camp, so it's now that it's getting warmer out again, it's very topical.
Yeah, and since I've been eating all these chili dogs, it's very topical.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's cool, man.
Just
thank you so much for taking the time to visit.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for having me and asking me. This is super fun. It's so good to get to chat with you and catch up and see your shining, smart, smiley face.
You're great. Hey, I forgot to mention that you and I met last year at the Boise Comic Arts Fest.
Yeah.
In Idaho.
Heck yeah.
That was just an amazing event. Everybody had like the best things to say about it. Creators, attendees, the organizers, the volunteers. Are you gonna be a part of that this year?
I'm gonna try to. I'm still kind of figuring out my schedule. And hopefully, I'll be able to make it. It was such a blast last year. Are you going again?
Not unless this kills me. It kills me. Not unless I can get into some kind of. I'm just stuck in bed all day.
Yeah, right. We should just bring the show to you.
Just bring Boise to Utah. Yeah, right.
Yeah, man.
So.
No, yeah.
So hope for a miracle, and I'll get out there. But for now, I'm at home. Yeah. But thank you so much, man. You're the best. I love your style. I love your stuff, and good luck with everything you're doing.
Yeah, you too, man. I love your work, and you're such a shining, wonderful human being, and it's great to get to talk to you.
You're great, man. Thank you. Well, have a great night, and obviously we'll keep up on your work and see what you're doing.
Heck yeah, man.
Okay. Well, have a good one. We'll see you.
You too, Jess.
Bye.
Bye.